backpack, a piece of steel in one hand, and a can of mace in the other. And guys were trying to sell me joints everywhere. And then some black guy turned me on to the bus station. So I found the bus station, and there'll be a song all about the bus station on our EP called One in a Million. And then I rode all around Fullerton, thinking it was just the smallest city I'd seen, and I would find Izzy. I rode the bus for like 2 days. Never found Izzy. But, you know, I stayed in Huntington Beach for a while. I found this empty apartment with a door open and a skateboard in the corner, and that was Izzy's.
Huh.
Got lucky. I paid some guys a case of beer to help me find Huntington Beach, because I didn't know where it was. And then I hitchhiked the whole country for a while, looking for where I wanted to stay and start working on a band. You know, went all the way up to, went to San Francisco, went to Rhode Island, went down to Hollywood, Florida, back to Indiana for a while to regroup my brain, and then back to LA, and I moved to Hollywood with it. Yeah, it's like I got the tattoo first. I had a friend design it because I just felt that no matter what happens with this band, where it went, what we sold, or if it broke up, changed, whatever, or any other members, that at that time it was the most important thing. And it's like, I like tattoos, and I wanted something that would always remind me of what was once there, you know, a symbol of it. And so, you know, I got the cross tattoo here, and then Geffen liked it so much we decided to use it for a cover.
Yeah, it'd be one of those things that I tell your grandkids.
See, like Slash, you like notice, see, Slash wanted straight hair, so we gave him straight hair.
I didn't ask for straight hair.
Yes, you did.
On
You totally did.
didn't.
Yes, you did.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. Totally.
What makes you say that?
Because you did.
Why? Was I drunk?
I don't know. Yeah, I think you were. You were at the Hell House.
Oh, yeah, because I told Bill, I said, you're never going to be able to draw curly hair right. Dynamics is it's physical, you know? I mean, it's definitely an emotional and physical thing. That's where it comes from. It's like, you know, you get to one part and then you want to, you know, I can't put it into words really what it is. It's just a feeling.
Slash is one of the most emotional guitar players that I've ever met or ever seen. And coming from Indiana, I used to play with this guitar player named Paul, and I learned about blues and emotionalism and stuff through him, and he was a big Page fanatic. And then I came to LA and I saw all these people trying to be Eddie Van Halen. And it took 5 years to find somebody who played more from the heart rather than just trying to be the fastest and trying to do this and that to be a big rock star. Someone who, like, he'll be very quiet and stuff most of the time and really won't let a lot of himself out until he picks up a guitar. And then his heart and soul seems to pour out through the guitar, and it's just like, I sit down a lot of times at shows, I'll sit down right on the stage, right in front of his amp when he's doing a solo, because it means so much to me just to hear that. Took a few years, like for a couple of years. Izzy was real good at, like, he'd been out there just long enough, and he was always good at scamming his way in, and I wasn't. So it took me like about 2 years to even like be able to talk to people. I just kind of like stand around and watch, you know, and people didn't accept you so easily. And I remember I was wearing cowboy boots, and I got told I looked like I just got off the boat. And now like people buy cowboy boots for their mother out there. It's like, it's kind of weird. But, you know, we met Slash. We ran an ad for a heavy metal punk glam guitarist, blues influenced. And Slash showed up and we said, nah. But he kept popping up everywhere we were at, and all of a sudden we started working together. It took a long time, but I mean, I guess it took a long time for me to learn and accept things out there. You know, he had been there the whole time, and nothing was really that new.
From the beginning.
Yeah. And Izzy was just running around learning about every fad that there was. So finally, at this point, he's just bored with everything except, you know, and just gets into his guitar. And it's real cool. He's like, you know, not doesn't worry about too much of anything except his guitar.
It's really funny because like none of us are from Los Angeles, and everybody like tries to label us an LA band. We just all happen to have met there, and we were the only 5 guys that could have made up Guns N' Roses. I mean, we had different combinations of us in different bands, you know, throughout the time we were coming up and getting it together. And
yeah, there was like 1 or 2 of the same guys.
We couldn't, there was nobody else in LA we could have played with, so it was inevitable that the 5 of us would get together because that was it. I mean, there was no other combinations that were going to work, you know.
Paul McCartney interview, and he was talking about how he writes songs, and he said that there is no formula. He said he's written songs probably every single way, you know, imaginable, and you know, he was wondering if there was a few more ways. Sometimes it starts out with 1 word, sometimes 1 note, sometimes a verse, a riff, a chorus, a drum beat. It always varies every time. Sometimes a whole song hits you at once. Then you're very fortunate, I think. And, you know, you've really got something. Other times it takes, you know, it could take up to a year to get a song exactly the way that your mind's picturing it. A lot of times you hear something in your head, you picture it, but you can't quite figure out how to get it out. Like if you were a painter and you see the picture, but you can't figure out how to paint it. I've heard a lot of painters describe it as basically their work is just a shadow of what they saw in their head. You know, and sometimes that's what we get, other times we nail it right on the head and it completely comes out. When we start a song, it's like I'll try it in different ways and finding which way fits it best. And if I think that some sound, some way of singing is going to work better, I'll just work on that way. It might be something new that I've never done before. Like, It's So Easy, I'd never sang a song like that before, but the high voice just didn't seem to fit it as well. And so I started working on the low one, and Mr. Brownstone, it reminded me of a Stones-ish type funk thing, and so I was just playing around with it, and then, you know, we heard a rehearsal tape back, and it sounded like it might work, so I just started practicing that way. I'm like a second baritone, and I just worked on widening my range to get a high range, and so then I just try to find a way to use it, to use the whole thing rather than limit myself.
Get out of bed around 9, and I don't worry about nothing, no, because the ones are wasting my time.
We have this song, My Michelle, right? And it's, Axl comes to me with these lyrics one day, and I go, "No, Axl, you really can't say that. I mean, we've known this girl for years." And it's the truth.
When I was about 13, and I went out with her then later on, and we got into a little hassle or whatever, and then I wrote this song. And it was basically the truth, and it says some nice stuff about, you know, how...
At the end.
No, in the middle of it, you know, everyone needs love, and you know that it's true and stuff. But I like to describe, sometimes, like, you won't touch a subject because you don't want to expose it. It might hurt someone. But then, if the subject's really that interesting, you just rip it apart and expose it. And that's what we did. And basically, though, it worked out good for everybody in the long run. She's happy about the song, and her dad even liked the fact that it was really accurate. So.
It was funny at the time, though. It's like, no, you can't.
Yeah, at the time, it was really, it took 3 weeks for me to, like, finally go, what do you think of these lyrics? But she was really happy that I wrote it, so.
Now she's like popular. It's a really cool business. I mean, it's like, you know, you can be on top and popular and everybody loves you and you're making lots of money, and then it's gone at some point too. And then, you know, it's like we're lucky because we have people that we work with that we're close to, and we can, you know, really be personal with and feel like someone's, you know, actually loves us and whatever. And it's like,
I wouldn't go that far.
but if it falls apart tomorrow, you know what I mean? Your history, no one gives a about you anymore. And, you know, what are you
go back and get I'll be your friend. I'll still be your friend.
You're going to go back and get a secretarial
job? When will I talk to you? Once a year?
Yeah. Go back home to your parents? What? I mean, it's like, it's hard in that way, but it's worth it. This is great, yeah.
We got hired to be the bad boys, and we were the bad boys, and now all of a sudden we have to be businessmen and respectable and good and stuff like that.
You can only be bad boys during non-working hours.
I'm psychotic, and that's a real problem to try to, like, you know, okay, now I'm done with business, now I can go in this room and be psychotic and tear it up. You know, it's like I have to, like, balance out, you know, when can I destroy everything around me to when I have to be nice to everybody.
Yeah, things aren't that cut and dry, so it's hard to...
People don't really understand Brownstone. We have countless friends that were very, very close friends. The girl that the song Rocket Queen is written about, her life is history. I mean, she's alive, there's not much left to it. We have countless other friends that have spent, you know, upwards to like 50 grand on rehabilitation. They can't get away from drugs. It's a very sad thing, you know. We can't even hang out with these people because, you know, you go to say hi, and next thing you know, the conversation turns to drugs, and you go, well, I got to go take care of business because you don't want to be involved with it. And it's kind of sad because, you know, we grew up with some of these people, or at least me in LA I was out there for 7 years, last 7 years, you know, and I've, you know, lost at least 5 or 6 people that I hung out with every day. Yeah. So Brownstone is just about having a battle with it, and, you know, and wishing you never touched the stuff and trying to get away from it. I usually end up trying to take vacation and destroying everything around me because I can't calm down. I don't know.
I'm a wreck when we're off the road. I don't know what to do with myself.
Like you hear about, like, Joe Walsh destroying hotel rooms or whatever. I just destroy my apartment and then rebuild it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily fun, but it happens. But you find yourself in a situation where, like, you know, we were all pretty much troublesome kids. And now, a lot of the things that you used to do as a kid for fun that you might have got away with, you're not going to get away with now. And also, they might be stupid things. So, I don't know, it just escalates into a point where, you know, it's like throwing a TV out of a window is boring. Let's see if we can drive a car off the roof, you know. Put a brick on the pedal. Very strict upbringing. I wasn't allowed to listen to music, except for old Elvis Presley and Jimmy Swaggart gospel records.
The coolest thing.
I mean, this Jimmy Swaggart thing that's gone on in the last few things is like no big surprise because I was raised on Jimmy Swaggart religious tapes from when I was 5. We had a reel-to-reel deck and we bought them all. This just went on, you know, for years and years and years, and then finally, I was, you know, accused of doing drugs and drinking and all this stuff that I wasn't doing, and I was kicked out of my house for not cutting my hair, and it was above my ears at the time, and I was 16, and, you know, and at that point, I just said, well, if I'm going to be accused of all these things, I might as well find out what they're all about, and, you know, and so I just, you know, maybe I got on a wrong track, but I seem to have pulled it together somewhat on my own. And it took a long time, and it's still, even to this day, I still have to deal with, you know, coming to grips with certain things that happened during my childhood and certain things I wasn't allowed to do and allowed to hear and everything like that. So I'm still exploring every field of music I possibly can. You know, I feel I got a lot of catching up to do.
A lot of energy, you know. I mean, we're just like 5 kids, and basically, you know, all the work and stuff that goes into what we do is generated by these 5 guys, and now there's a whole, you know, countless people that are involved in what we're doing, and we like are sort of the bottom line on a lot of people's careers at this point. You know what I mean? It's like some people we're the only band that they work with, you know. It's a sort of strange responsibility.
But then if you're too much of a pain, you know, they can find someplace else to go.
They can still get another job. You know, they can put I worked with Guns N' Roses on their, what do you call it? You know, those sheets that you fill out.
The blacklist, the red list, whatever.
Oh, you survived that?
Guys. You'll never work in this industry again. Next record, it's getting to be more exciting thinking about it all the time. I don't know what it's going to do in terms of sales or our following, but it should be, for us, a very weird experimental process and coming up with a lot of new things, because Appetite for Destruction, a lot of the material written on that was done while we were in the club scene in LA. That's over 2 years ago. You know, sometimes 3 years ago, some of it. And Anything Goes was first started about 4 years ago. And so during this time, we've had a lot of time to grow and mature, I think, lyrically and musically. And the next record, we get to like fuse this all together and see what we come up with.
It's a strange thing because we're gonna, you know, actually, it's different because we've had a long time, like you said, about, you know, growing and stuff as musicians and as just as people and experiences and things. And I think when the tour is done, you know, and it's time to sit down and just put music together for the next record, it's going to be a completely different situation. It's not like we had years to put a song together or whatever. You know, things change over, you know, course of years. Me and Axl met at a certain point, and our relationship, you know, with me and him and, you know, us and the rest of the band and stuff has changed. And it's like we're going to sit down and start writing songs, like right off. It's hard to explain. It's going to be like sitting down and just putting all this years of experience down, you know, and trying to write however many songs we're going to do. And I don't know, just put it in a certain time frame.
Yeah,
just like
put it all together.
done.
It's like a lot of people right now are getting turned on to Appetite for Destruction like it's brand new. And we still have the same momentum behind those songs as we've always had, and we still find something in them and we get excited. But, you know, the next record for us will be like anywhere from a 2 to a 4 year jump. And a lot of people, you know, are going to get that jump in 1 year's time. And I think it's going to surprise a lot of people.
Solos and stuff. Like, you know, my own, like one place where I get to do guitar solo and stuff. It's never anything that I made up or on the, you know, like before the show or a couple days ago. It's always just like made up on the spot, you know.
There's a lot of improv. And like I'll go skateboarding behind Slash and he doesn't know it, and that's a lot of fun. Or I like to go out in the crowd sometimes, like while he's playing, and mess with him.
Yeah, I ran out into the crowd the other night and went, I'm wireless now, so it's a new thing. So I go running up into like where the monitor board is, and all these people are going, oh my God, where's he going? And the security guys
chasing him, there's kids chasing him, and he's running full speed.
Meanwhile, they got little low steps, and I almost fell. It was, yeah, I did. I hit some steps. I was like, oh God, I didn't even know they were there. Live playing is 50% of what we are about as far as a band, maybe even more than that. I mean, you record, I'm one of those people that enjoys recording, you know, even though we've only done it seriously once. I mean, I like to put everything into it. And then to go out and play it live is, you know, the other half of the the other side of the coin, you know. It's great. I mean, it's the best. Playing in front of a crowd that's, you know, really enthusiastic is one of the best feelings you can ever have, you know. It's the most fun. It's great.
We like playing our songs. Also, it's like, you know, I give the light people and everybody a hard time because I don't like to follow the set list, because I like to go off the feel of the band and the feel of the crowd. And like, what I think the band's going to be able to play the best and go for the best vibe with the crowd. You know, so it makes every show just a little bit different. And we never know how we're going to end the show. I mean, we never know if we're going to do an encore or we're going to play for a long period of time, or if, as the case happens a lot of times, if I'm going to get like pissed off and leave. Because something always happens at the end of a show for me, for some reason. I don't know why. It's like the last song, something happens. You can see on the live MTV thing, it's like, you know, everything was pro except this monitor man that didn't have a clue of what was going on. And the crowd's hearing the show, everything's great. We're hearing spaceships land on stage, backwards echoes,
I know, it's like, what's that?
screaming
What was that?
feedback. You know, the drummer doesn't know Steven doesn't know what's going on. You know, finally I tried to nail the monitor man with my microphone, and my tour manager moved and I nailed him. So, but you can, you know, that was messy.
Yeah.
But it leaves for some excitement. People never know what's going to happen, you know, and they never know if I don't come back, it's like, Axel O'D, or what happened. Yeah, this is Slash, this is Axel, with Guns N' Roses. And what you're about to see is, I'm sorry.
We didn't
know.
mean it.
We didn't know, okay?
It was supposed to
There
be
was
a
cameras,
joke.
all kinds of things happening. It was an accident. Thank you.